Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander viewers should exercise caution when watching this program, as it may contain images of deceased persons.
But first, it's a sport that unites the country, whether it's the AFL Grand Final at the MCG or a dusty oval in a country town. Footy has been a man's game for over 100 years. 2017 will see the first women's national AFL competition. When this was announced, some of our Noongar girls were among the first to try out for the big time, hoping to make as big an impact in the women's game as Noongar men do in the AFL. Edward Nixon reports.
Australia's sport of heroes. For over a century now, Australian families have gathered to cheer, cry and celebrate the AFL, and women have been part of the sport from the beginning.
Yeah, women have been playing the game for over 100 years now.
Since the AFL announced only 8 women's teams, WA was lucky that Fremantle was one of them. Michelle Cowan used to coach the Blokes at the Melbourne Demons before she was made head coach for the Dockers women's team.
I'm excited to be part of this football club and moving forward with the National Women's League it's a really exciting time for AFL. It's great that now we've got this complete pathway and girls get the opportunity to represent an AFL club.
And for women footy players, like the 2016 champions from Swan Districts, the new league represents a chance to play at the same elite level as the men.
The Indigenous players coming through, I think it's good for them, but it's great for female football to have something in WA where we can actually showcase our talent.
Born and raised WA star player Kirby Bentley is one of the lucky girls playing for Fremantle. Kirby's childhood was filled with sports, but like many other girls, it was overshadowed by the boys.
I grew up in a small country town, Mount Barker. When you're a bit of a tomboy, you used to play footy with all the cousins and that was all fun, but you know, become a young lady, you can no longer do that. So I took up the sport of netball.
But Kirby's netball career came to a halt when tragedy struck her family.
In 2009, my mum's sister was murdered. Her husband killed her and my middle sister was playing football. So because netball took a lot of time away from family, I wanted to get to know who she was, and it was through sport and through footy that made her happy, so I wanted to be a part of that. You know, a lot of people from different backgrounds and understandings and whatever it may be, you get to wear the same jersey and play for the same reasons.
Kirby's love for the game has led to her taking up-and-coming stars under her wing. One of those players, rising star Courtney Ugle, made the move from country to city to pursue footy.
So I grew up in Bunbury. I played school footy, so it wasn't well known or it wasn't a big thing at all down there. But I found the love for the game. My brother coming through, you know, he was very well known for his football down in Bunbury. Being his younger sister, it was like I was meant to know how to play football, and that's where, you know, I made the move to Perth and found a mentor and role model in Kirby Bentley. When I first started, I didn't know, you know, the basic fundamentals and the skills of the game, so Kirby took time out to, you know, work with me personally one-on-one. She taught me how to kick. To share that with me is something I hold very close to my heart.
But Courtney proves that footy is more than just a game, it's a lifeline. Having lost both of her parents, Courtney wants to share her personal story with other players to inspire them to keep moving forward.
So footy for me was an outlet. I didn't have the best upbringing. I lost my dad at a young age, so I was 12. And things at home in Bunbury weren't the best, so footy was my way out.
But now, footy is a family affair for Courtney. Younger sister Madison is also a keen footy player, and Courtney is truly thankful to the sport for bringing the pair closer together.
I feel really confident with her around me, and she builds me up to, you know, play around with people that are the same, on the same level. So it's really good to have her by my side. To have a role model like my sister it's great. I love it.
Oh, playing alongside my sister has been, you know, probably the best thing about this season. Obviously, with the loss of our mum this year, it was something that I feel like her and I have bonded over a lot. We've gotten a lot closer. It's just a great feeling to play with, you know, not only your teammates but your family out on the field as well.
But as for now, the future looks bright for women's football as Australia watches on.
We've heard some of the heartfelt stories from our female Noongar stars in WA, and now it's time to hear from the two important people involved in the upcoming Women's League and the Indigenous footy community in WA. We're joined by Madison Yarran, a youth league player for the Perth Angels, and Tasha Gillespie, who currently works for the West Australian Football Commission. Thanks for joining us, Madison and Tash. It's great to have you here. So Tash, what's the pathway that young Indigenous women go through to make it to a higher level?
Okay, there's currently a program called the Kickstart program, which is run by the AFL Indigenous programs. That's where the girls get to play for their state. So in WA, for selection for that, we have a Kirby Bentley Cup, which is very similar to the Nicky Winmar Carnival, but it's girls playing a round robin event, which they're then selected and go on to training and into a squad and then chosen to play for Kickstart. Once they're in the Kickstart program, they go and compete against all the different states in WA against the other Indigenous girls. And from there, they can be selected in the Australian team, which is called the Woomeras. Each year they take 25 girls from all over the state. They fly into Melbourne, have 2 days training session, and then they go on and compete in different events. And there's another, they go on to do a leadership camp later in the year.
And the Woomeras team is made up from Indigenous girls from all over Australia?
Yeah, they're from all over Australia. From anywhere really. WA's been quite lucky. Each year we seem to get more and more girls chosen. This year 11 girls were actually chosen into the Woomera squad. Yeah, wow. So that's a huge achievement compared to the first year, which was 5.
Such as Kirby Bentley and playing netball, yourself you played netball too. Can you tell us about the transition of going from netball to playing football?
Yeah, I started off netball and I just, thought netball was a bit judgmental, and then I come around to footy. It was just, you could, on the field you can run anywhere you want. You don't have to stop and start, which is really fun, and you got to tackle, and all that. I just thought it was pretty cool just tackling girls and not just, little bumps and stopping and all that, and yeah.
So Tash, from an organisational level, you would see that transition from netball to football a lot. Can you tell us what the biggest incentive you see for young Indigenous women joining football?
I think the biggest incentive is the way that the football family, they're like a family, so they get around the girls and they really support each other. Whereas I guess with netball, it's more of even though it's a team sport, the girls are kind of individual, but whereas when they go on the football field, they're all a team.
You started football at a young age, year 4, year 6, you played mixed football. So what was it like, your experience playing football with the boys?
Yeah, so when I first started in year 4, I rocked up at the club and they told me I couldn't play because I was a girl. So we went back to the president and the president spoke to them and said she's going to play. So I, showed my skills to the boys and they kind of laughed at first when I rocked up because I was a girl. Yeah, but showed my skills and they started treating me like I was their, sister or something like that. And yeah, it was really good. Got a lot of the pat on the backs after the games from the boys. Most of them said I was better than the other boys, had a bit of arguments, and yeah, I reckon it was really fun playing with the boys.
Now that the AFL have a women's league, is there some aspiration to play in the women's league, and can you see yourself getting picked up?
Yeah, I'm really happy that they've bring out women's AFL. So excited if I get drafted. It'd mean a lot, beat my brothers obviously if I do that, and it'd just be such an honour, just to play out there in front of so many people and show your skills and ability and leadership on and off the field, and just have, my brothers and sisters going around the house saying, I'm Maddie Yarran, instead of I'm Eddie Betts or something like that.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, Tash and Madison, and good luck for the future of your career. We're excited, aren't we, to see where you end up?
Girl power, go girls.